What is going on, Gamer Nation? My name is Mr. Studley, and I'm here today to bring you a bit of a comparison video. A comparison between the newly announced Assassin's Creed Rogue and last year's installment, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, before I get things started, I do want to take you through what we will be going through in this video. First off, we're going to be comparing the UI, or the user interface. Secondly, we'll be comparing the weapons between both games. This includes the weapons of the ships from the two games, and the weapons from both of our assassin protagonists, or I guess in Rogue's case, the Templar protagonist. Or is he an antagonist? It depends how they sway the story, but you know, you're fighting for your cause, so I guess you're a Templar protagonist. This makes no sense, Templars are evil. And then, lastly, we'll be going over the similarities between animation. And I won't be going through similarities between the ship animations because, like, it's the same. It's identical, and there's really no way for me to judge ship animations, so it'll just be Edward Kenway's animations and Shay Patrick Cormac's animations. Yes, so it'll be how they fight, how they run, how they actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to go into that much detail with their animations, but there will be some comparison to be done. Without further ado, let's put these two titans up against each other. In the left, we have Assassin's Creed Black Flag. In the right, we have Assassin's Creed Rogue. Let's get into this. As I said in the beginning, we'll be kicking things off with UI, and UI is quite shocking, to say the least. Not since Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood have we had two games with such strikingly similar UI. It's obvious that the game engine has barely been tweaked. Not even visually has the game engine been tweaked. It's obvious they ported the game engine straight over, and they just went to work on Rogue. I'm assuming the division of Ubisoft that were working on Rogue probably didn't have too much time, which is why we have such similar UI, but at the very least, there are slight color differentiations between the two games. Though things are in the exact same spots, you'll notice Rogue has slightly darker color palettes here and there around certain objects on the UI. The map of Rogue is slightly darker. Yeah, the little bit of color that's around the buttons that you can press. By buttons, I'm referring to the top left that has the Y, X, A, and B. That little bit of color around that is slightly different in Rogue. But, I mean, really, you're seeing these two games side by side. UI, it's pretty much identical. The biggest change that I can note on is actually the currency being used in the two different games, where Black Flag uses reals and Rogue uses euros, I believe. Yes, that does look like the symbol for euros. Correct me if I'm wrong. I doubt I'm wrong. Why am I even asking this question? Like, it even goes as far as to have the little Wi-Fi signal thingy that's to the bottom. Oh wait, did I say the A, X, and Y and B were at the top left? I meant the top right. Sorry about that. Anyway, the little Wi-Fi thing that is to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Both games seem to have this, which begs the question: will Rogue's future storyline be a continuation from Black Flag's? Because if both games have this Wi-Fi thing, if you didn't know, in the future story of Black Flag, that little Wi-Fi thing in the bottom left-hand corner, basically, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was for, but it kind of signaled if you were getting close to where you needed to be? That's kind of what I remembered. It could be completely wrong, but the point is it was very, you could say, important to the gameplay aspect of the future story, so I'm gonna assume that Rogue's future story continues from Black Flag's, which begs another question: what will Unity's future story be? Will Unity even have a future story? Are Ubisoft brave enough to change this, because it was said in an interview that Unity is the perfect place to start Assassin's Creed because it differentiates itself so much from the previous games. This may be, Unity, Unity may be the game that either does not have a future story or is actually starting another new future story. It'll be pretty interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah, that's it for the UI. Let's move on to the weapons. When it comes to weapons, I feel as though we should start out with the ships. On the side of Rogue, we have the Morrigan, and on the side of Black Flag, we have the Jackdaw. Both of these kick-ass ships have been known to do some incredible things. The Jackdaw has taken down all 4 of the legendary ships, while the Morrigan has been rumored to have taken down the Aquila from Assassin's Creed 3. Pretty epic accolades for both ships, if I do say so myself. The most similar weapons that the Morrigan and the Jackdaw possess are the broadside cannons. And, I mean, it's pretty hard to not have broadside cannons on a ship that is going to go into naval warfare, especially during this time period of the 18th century, as, well, broadside cannons are kind of necessary if you want to kick major ass. So, it's understandable that the Morrigan should also have broadside cannons and that they should function identically to how they do in Black Flag. Both ships are also able to shoot out heavy shot, my personal favorite weapon. And as far as similarities go, or at least identical similarities, that's where it ends. But there are new weapons added to the Morrigan that are strangely similar to those in Black Flag, even though for some reason the guys at Ubisoft are announcing that these are new weapons that are very different from the ones in Black Flag. Sorry guys, they're not that different. We'll start off with the Paco gun, or the Papal gun. Not pretty sure how to pronounce this. Probably should have looked it up, but who cares? The Paco gun, or the Papal gun, this is a weapon on the Morrigan. It functions similarly to the swivels on the Jackdaw, as the swivels on the Jackdaw took down weak points on enemy ships automatically. It would automatically fire at weak points on the enemy ships. Obviously, you had to press the button, but it would auto-aim at the weak points of ships. Whereas the Paco gun on the Morrigan allows you to do the exact same thing, only this time you have to manually aim. I don't see how this is an improvement, as its design and its purpose, as stated by the guy at Ubisoft, is to specifically shoot weak points exactly how the swivels did in Black Flag. So it's obvious that you won't really be able to take down crew members of the enemy ships with the Papal gun before actually sinking the ship. So it's not that different. Paco gun is just a manual version of the swivel, so I don't see why they're advertising that as a new weapon. Next up, in terms of similar weapons, we have the carronades. These are the front side weapons of the Morrigan. They can be compared to the chain shot for the Jackdaw. Now, what the chain shot did in Black Flag is it slowed, if you shot at the sails, it was meant to be shot specifically at the sails of ships to slow them down. It would also do damage, and it was a pretty useful weapon to take down the smaller ships. What the carronades in Rogue do are pretty much the same thing. They stun a ship, which I would really equate to the same thing as slowing down a ship, and they do damage. So really, carronades and the chain shot are very similar in terms of functionality, though visually they are different. Now, for what I can account for as a new weapon is the burning oil on the back of the Morrigan. Now, burning oil in comparison to the fire barrel of the Jackdaw, it's very different. There's really nothing to compare other than the fact that both of them use fire. Fire barrel, for me specifically, was very useless, as I obviously wasn't using it at the right time. Enemies would always avoid them. They kind of just sat there. I'd sometimes shoot them to make them explode, and then sometimes the blast radius would hit my enemies. But all in all, a very useless weapon for me. However, the burning oil seems to be something that could prove highly useful in naval warfare in Rogue. Now we'll be comparing the weapons of both of our protagonists, Shay Patrick Cormac and Edward Kenway. Now, to start things off, I guess we'll start with the hidden blades. Easiest thing to do. Both characters possess the double hidden blades. It's kind of been a staple since Assassin's Creed 2. Both characters also possess pistols, with Shay possessing 2 pistols, positioned in a way that doesn't allow him to shoot as fast as Edward Kenway would. Unfortunately, in the demo, I did not see him use the pistols, so I can't really confirm if he can't shoot fast, but the position of the pistols would disallow this. To compare it to Edward, Edward had 4 pistols that were positioned in a way that would allow him to shoot really fast. He basically could shoot all 4 of them in a matter of seconds. Next up, both characters have smoke bombs. What you gonna do? The smoke bombs function identically to each other. Both characters also have rope darts. What you gonna do? Rope darts are cool. They should be in every game. Please tell me Unity has rope darts. Please. Where would you use them, though? Where would you use them? Just give them to me. I don't care if I can't use them properly. Just give them to me. Both characters are able to throw money. That's not really a weapon. Both characters possess fists. Why am I even saying this? Edward Kenway had a he had a dart gun. It was a blowpipe. He'd shoot different darts out of it. Edward Kenway had a sleep dart, a berserk dart, and I think another one. I can't exactly remember. To compare this to what Shay has a air rifle. Now, the air rifle is honestly the same as the blow dart. It's just in a gun form, and it can shoot further, and I suppose faster as well. But basically, the air rifle, in comparison to the Jesus, I'm getting confused here. So really, the air rifle functions identically to the blow dart gun, and even shoots out the exact same projectiles as the air rifle shoots. Sleep darts, berserk darts, and a new dart, the firecracker dart. So really, the air rifle is just it's a glorified blow dart gun. Something new to the fold, though, is that Shay Patrick Cormac has a grenade launcher. Unfortunately, it's nothing too grand, as the grenade launcher shoots out grenade versions of the exact same things you'd find in your air rifle. It has sleep grenades, berserk grenades, and regular grenades, so it's nothing too great. I don't even know why they have both these weapons, considering they do the exact same thing. But anyway, they had to do it. Next up, we have Edward Kenway. He has these dual-wield swords, while Shay Patrick Cormac has a sword in one hand and I would say a knife in the other hand, but I wouldn't really say it's a knife. It's a bit longer than your average knife. It's about machete-ish length, but Shay Patrick Cormac has a sword and a knife. Problem being here is that it functions identically to Edward Kenway's dual swords, to the extent that the animations are identical. And I know next segment is animations, but the animations for Shay Patrick Cormac's sword and knife is identical to Edward Kenway's dual-wield swords. So you'd have times I saw in the demo where the knife does what the sword of Edward Kenway would do. So you'd basically be stabbing a guy with your left-hand sword, but because it's a knife, it looks absurd because it's not actually protruding through the person. I hope that made sense. I wasn't too sure what I was saying there. But, yeah, in terms of weapons, that's it. They rarely have the same weapons as one another. Nothing really to go over here. So, because I'm not going to go too deeply into animation here, what I'm going to compare is gameplay and animation. That way, instead of having a deep animation comparison, I have a rough animation comparison and a rough gameplay animation and a rough gameplay comparison. So, in terms of gameplay, it's the same. I'm not even going to try justify anything. It's the same game. It's the same gameplay from Black Flag. Identical gameplay. In terms of animation, Shay even walks the same as Edward Kenway, which is crazy. Now that's just taking it to another level, because what we've been treated to is the fact that every assassin has their own walking pattern, and Shay is actually the first assassin in any of the Assassin's Creed games to not have his own walking pattern, which is crazy because even Liberations had its own walking pattern. But justifiably, if they kept Connor's walking pattern, things would be a little weird there. Yeah, animation-wise, everything Shay does is animated identically to what Edward would do. And when I refer to animated the same, I mean how he throws smoke bombs, how he uses his hidden blades, how he uses his sword and knife, even though, as I referred, even though the sword and knife is different to two swords, so it should be different. They could have copied over Connor's animation or something. I don't know, that would have worked better. But, yeah, everything's the same. But obviously you have different kinds of weapons, like the air rifle and the grenade launcher, so that those two things come with their own animations. Can't really compare there. I don't know how the guns shoot, so I can't really tell you if the guns are the same. I did see him punch a few enemies, and it looks like his punching is identical to that of Edward Kenway. It's obvious that this game is a very lazy effort, but at least story-wise, it looks like they're at least trying. This video is long. I'd say it's the longest Just Gaming video that is a part of the new age of Just Gaming. I don't want to say new age, that sounds weird, but when I say new age, don't coin that. I'm not coining it as new age of Just Gaming, but when I refer to the new age, I'm talking about videos that were posted from the first episode of the Forest Survival Guide till now. So this is the longest video since then. Yeah, I've been Mr. Studley. I know I've missed something. So if I've missed anything, do post it in the comment section below. If you liked or didn't like my video, please show that in the dislike and like bar. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Wow, that's the first time I've actually said that. It's cool to do. It's cool to say rate, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you made it this far. And, yeah. Tell me what you think of my videos. And one more thing. I'm actually... I just realized, because now I'm trying to post more regular content. If you haven't made it this far, I'm struggling to come up with ideas for what I should be making, because if you look at the videos on Just Gaming, other than the forest, the videos are kind of random. They're kind of random. You can't really put them into a category. Yes, they're all based on games, but the videos can't be put into a category. So I'm struggling to think of what the fans of Just Gaming would want to watch. So if any of you do have ideas as to what you would like to see content-wise from Just Gaming, please post your ideas in the comment section below, or even PM me if you want to. PM Just Gaming. Alright, that's it for the video. I'll see you gamers next time. Longest video, signing out. What is going on, Gaming Nation? My name is Mr. Studley, and this is a return to the Forest Survival Guide. None of you have actually asked why. Someone very familiar was beside our main character, and if you haven't been able to tell by the title of this video, that character was Hatham motherfucking Kenway.